Money on my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again with another Bag Talk episode. So let's jump in it. Before we do that, I want to make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe on your way in. All free ways to support the channel and the platform and the growth. I'm gonna give my take on from a blue collar perspective. For those who don't know, my career is half construction, half IT. I come home exceptionally dirty. Well, I won't be coming home exceptionally dirty anymore because I refuse to ride my new vehicle dirty, but I'll be half dirty. But, you know, we keep a emergency change of clothes, different shoes for driving, all that good stuff. But, you know, I get off work, I'm quote unquote dusty per the community, which makes people make assumptions when you're dirty. They make assumptions that you don't make money. They also make assumptions that you're homeless. I am of neither of those persuasions. So we're going to give my perspective on getting rich, making it, attaining wealth in America. Do I believe that it's still possible? Now, I do believe that the American dream has definitely changed, but getting some wealth under you, getting a stable foundation, I believe is still doable. We are in a very, very narrowing window for that. But I do believe that in 2025, 2026, I think you got probably about till 2030 to figure out what class of society, where you're going to be at, where your trajectory is going, before we legitimately start having conversations. Because, like, I don't think that anybody can just go get a house. I couldn't go buy my house. I mean, I could go buy my house right now, but, like, I couldn't buy my house right now. Same. It'd be a totally different strategy, totally different play, me getting the place that I live in right now. So, I mean, things are changing fast. And that's just since 2019, which is when I bought this right at the beginning of the shutdowns. And you can't deny that. You can't deny that these kids that are coming into the financial space now are coming in far less equipped, even though they have access to all the information that they need. That's not an excuse, but they're far less equipped. They have far less experience because some of you less productive adults are taking the jobs that they would have got. Going into places and you see grown adults being bus kids. It's a bus boy. It's not a bus man. I know we call them bus persons now. Or what is it? Dish arbitragers. Whatever you got to do to make yourselves feel good. But those are kids' jobs. That's what I did when I was 15. And so they're coming into a financial space after you told them to go to school and rack up debt to get a piece of paper so that they can say they're smarter than somebody, much like myself who doesn't have that piece of paper, but I'm worth more than they are. I'm also not getting replaced by AI like they are. I also don't have debt that you can't get out of like they do. That's just lifelong debt. I also own a home. I can also afford to replace a car when I need to. I can afford repairs. Not that I like that, but it rains on the just and unjust alike. Bad stuff is going to happen. Life is coming to you. I can afford surgery. I'm on the high deductible plan. I can pay for my medical expenses. But apparently, because I don't have that piece of paper, I'm the dumb one. But I'm succeeding in this financial market. I have more assets than you. You know, I don't have crippling debt that's never going away. I'm not having to take medications to get through my 60 to 100-hour work week. I don't know. I mean, maybe I am doing something wrong. Maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe I need to go to therapy, apparently. That's what they tell me, when you don't have to take drugs and you can just get through your day. And you have standards. Whatever. I get it. But the reality of the situation is, for me and from my perspective, this is as a dusty blue collar worker that doesn't make over six figures in W-2 money. I do believe that it is possible to attain wealth. I do believe that it is possible to have a financial foundation. There are some caveats, but before we go into that, I want to go into what the median is. This is the true number. Median. We're cutting out the outliers. So as far as income goes, and this is AI, so we gotta believe it because it just searches faster than I do, and it's also super useful. Google has made my life so much better. The most recent official data from the US Census in 2024, the median income for 2024 was $83,730. $83,730. Which is interesting because I'm below the median. So now we're doing all these things in make-believe land, which is also pretty crazy. Because as far as W-2 is concerned, I don't really factor that money. I use it to exist at this juncture, but it's also the target that I'm constantly shooting at to get out of the rat race, which means we have to get 2.5, 3 times past my salary, which collectively all the income that comes in via me, because I am doing this by myself. I bought a house by myself. I buy my cars by myself. I manage my debt, my loans, all that stuff. You guys watch the Debt Crusher episodes at the beginning of the month. All alone. I have no help. My parents didn't help. Well, correction. My mom gave me a car at 16 that I destroyed, and then she cut me off financially from that point forward. My stepdad at, I think, pretty sure it was 18, 19 maybe, co-signed on my fourth car because I'd been buying a bunch of junk cars. And he did co-sign, did not give me a dime. He did co-sign. My stepfather, good man, did co-sign for that car. And I told him straight up, I was like, I don't need a dime from you. I just need somebody to sign for this loan so that I can get the payments in the realm that's something that's manageable for me. And I've paid for every single other thing by myself ever since. So like, there's no, oh, well, you got this, you got privilege. Like, no, I'm dumber than you. I don't have that piece of paper. I just work hard. And I focused every ounce of my energy in understanding how money works and placed all my chips there and on me. So fast forward to now, as I'm starting to hit some breakout metrics. As far as income goes, this is W-2 income, like what you go get from your job, your employment, single source. The median income is $83,730, which I fall underneath. Apparently, all the gurus out there say that if you're not, this isn't even enough. The median's not enough because if you're on YouTube and you make $1 bazillion off YouTube and your Patreon group and the stuff that you're selling to people as you sit here in front of this camera, just like I am in the most sociopathic fashion ever, screaming into the ether, which I am also doing. Apparently, you get to dictate what's possible. So, I mean, I would love to have that conversation with any of them. I'd love to have that conversation with Anton Daniels. Any of these dudes that are saying like, oh, you can't do anything. It's like, you can't because I bought this house under median income. Could I buy it again now off just my income? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So that's true. There's actually, I'm not even going to say absolutely not. I would just not, financially, it would be taxing. But the rent that you're paying right now is also financially taxing. Unless you're living with somebody like me that doesn't charge anything for rent, like you're paying under standard rent. Like unless you got it in where somebody's giving you an opportunity to set yourself up, you can get 5 roommates and live in a house, which I'm an advocate for because you allow yourself to establish yourself. I love house hacking. I house hack. I think it's great. I don't know. I couldn't have somebody in my space. I get it. But to say that like stuff isn't possible, because at this juncture, I don't need anybody else here. It just is what it is. Like, I'm making enough now to do that collectively. But if it was just based on solely income, I'm below median. I have a net worth that's higher than most people. And we can move on and let's take a look at that, because let's take a look at the median, because these are supposed to be the real deals. What's the median net worth for 2025? The most commonly cited median household net worth of 2025 is $187,690. So, you know, we're looking at so yeah, there's a couple of things in here though. So the smart asset study, obviously Federal Reserve's 2022 data as of 2025 gives a slightly higher figure of 192,700 for all households. I'm above that also. So we have two things that technically shouldn't align, because obviously I've said this multiple times on this channel. Personal finance is personal. It's an N of one experience. People have different scenarios. And then when you dive into that scenario, the math changes because the priorities are a little bit different. The fixed expenses are a little bit different. Cutting to the quick's a little bit harder if you have a family. Cutting to the quick's a little bit harder if you have a significant other that isn't financially literate and expects you to sustain a lifestyle, because these chicks don't want no broken, dusty man. Or if you're one of these chicks that dates bums, that's also a thing. You're the financially literate one, and you're just tied up to a dude that's just an indefinite dusty, or is just out here posturing for the gram and leads a lifestyle for Instagram and is running you into debt, crippling debt, unsurmountable debt, because he's a loser. That's also a thing. But that doesn't mean that because the gurus, because the postures, because the chicks that expect a certain amount of lifestyle exist, that doesn't mean that these things, the forward mobility is not possible, because we do the monthly update over here where I break down my finances for you every month, moving forward a little bit. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit backwards. I mean, end of October, probably going to be horrible, honestly, because like we're going, the market's going through some stuff right now, but we're moving forward. You know, we're getting there. The way that we go about looking at these things and is actually the issue. It's the mentality, it's the mindset, it's the focus. Like, we can get on YouTube and look at World Star. We can get on YouTube and look at fights. We can get on YouTube and get on Reels and look at all these shorts and just watch horrible things happen. We can watch people complain about the way the world works. Who's in office right now? My opinion on this, your opinion on that, her opinion on this, his opinion on that. All the distractions in the world. You'll waste time with all those distractions. Look at your screen time on your phone. All these phones, all these smartphones track it now. How long you been looking at that screen and didn't learn anything? Still broke. To distract yourself from the fact that you're still broke, that you're not moving forward, that you're doing the same thing that you were doing 10 years ago for around the same price range, barely getting cost of living raises, broke, about to be homeless. Giving people, actually, I'm not even going to say giving people. You've adopted the government institution as a secondary in your home. You're taking all the handouts, thinking you're getting ahead, and like now they're turning them all off. You guys are all losing your minds next month, because if you gave them permission to feed you, you give them permission to starve you. And now they are getting ready to starve you because they can't get their stuff together. And now it's somebody else's to blame. You're not going to pay for groceries. You're walking out of the store. You're going to be a thief and have a criminal record. This is the world we live in. Not I better go get a job. I better go figure this out. No. I'm just going to steal stuff. Something to think about. Because there's people out there at least posturing, again, pretending for the internet that's what they're going to do. Now we'll see if they got the gall to do it. I mean, I don't know. Crime rates might be rising pretty soon. Who knows? But the reality of it is they don't have agency of their own situation. And that's how you get to that point. So you get to that point. You've allowed somebody else to have the agency and the control of your life. And now it's their fault what happens to you. It's someone else's fault whether you eat next month. It's someone else's fault whether you get to go to the doctor. Someone else makes that decision for you. That's a terrible place to exist. I mean, and mind you, me without my piece of paper, without my degree, with all the victim tokens that I've acquired over my life, apparently, according to certain people with certain opinion sets, I decide if I'm eating next month. I decide if I get to go to the doctor. I decide those things. It's not someone else's fault. It's not someone else's responsibility. It's mine. And having taken that, I have some outcomes that are a little bit different than, I would say, the average person, because you do not want to be average. Like, average people don't get what they want, especially when things are falling apart. When we start talking about benefits going away as cost savings, that means the government's out of money. That means the money's so messed up that now the government can't even print indefinitely anymore. What does that mean for the rest of us? Because they're still printing. Monetary collapse is horrible. It's especially horrible if you are poor or at the bottom of the monetary system. Like, it just doesn't benefit you at all. At all. That's the reason you're seeing people who hold assets getting stupidly rich and still complaining about how expensive things are. But they're at least somewhat able to stay in the game. And then the further up that ladder you go, the less they're affected. One of the things in this AI breakdown that it also gives, because we can also look at this based on age, is the variance between the people in their 30s, which under the age of 35, their median net worth, and this is the reason I know how far I am ahead of most people who are two people in a family together, which means you have two incomes. I've got one. It's just me generating the income over here. The median net worth for households, this is households under 35, is $39,040. Now, see, that's around my age range. I'm over 35, obviously. But that's the group that I'm in. And I'm chasing down the 65 to 74-year-olds who have a median net worth of around $410,000, which is also pretty bad. Like my target for this year, my stretch goal is knocking on the back door of the 65 to 70-year-old group, 65 to 74. My target for 2026, the stretch target, I will be in that group. At 42 years old. And then, like you talk about these YouTube gurus, because everyone on YouTube is obviously a multimillionaire except for me. And they're in the millions already. Nowhere near average. So, like, for me, I look at these averages and I go, okay, like, what am I capable of doing from my position with the skills, tool set, what I've got going on? Where I'm at. I'm not worried about, oh, you need to go do this and sit down for a little bit and start trying to get these degrees and so that you can go compete with AI. I'm like, no, that's cool. I'll work with my hands because I won't have to in another 2 years. that done, game over. It's like, why do I have to go do anything? I can go take my time and go do whatever I want and just pay for it in 2 years. That's my timeline. Now, I've been working at it for 20 years, but about 25, I made some decisions and stuff fell in place and I picked up on some opportunities. Do we have the tool set? Are there tools available now to get wealthy in 2025 moving forward? Absolutely. Wearing the hat, Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, save yourself. The way that I'm looking at it from my blue collar perspective, there are still the old school ways. I don't think real estate, because who can buy houses and make them work? Like, how do you get profitable purchasing a house at this point? I don't know. Like, if I like buying a house to rent, wild to me. Like, unless you can get a good deal on a vacation property and like Airbnb the heck out of it when you're not there and at least break even, hopefully. But like with these rates, who knows? But at least you can get a discount for the ownership, I don't necessarily know that that's as efficient as it used to be. And I do know that moving forward, it's going to become demonetized. I'm going to do a video on it. Starting a business, absolutely. Get some income in. It's going to be important what you do with it. But starting a business, age old, find a problem, solve it, get paid to solve the problem. There's a lot of people who make a lot of money doing that, depending on what field you're in. And it's a lot easier to do that, a lot less risky to do that in modern times than it previously was. Investments, yes, I don't think the boomer play of buying the S&P 500 is going to really be as beneficial as what it used to be. Times have changed. We have evolved. If you're just in the S&P, that means you're staying flat with inflation, basically, which means that your buying power isn't going down, but it's not increasing. You're just kind of in this limbo space. So once you have to start eating off of your holdings at 4% a year, that's going to be questionable because now you're not growing that anymore. So see how that goes. We have Bitcoin. Solid answer for the last 15 years. I've been here since 2013. Never been a bad time to buy. I know we have volatility now. I bought in the 120s. 5 years from now won't be a bad time to buy. I'm not getting rid of the Bitcoin. So I've had a few 5-year stints, a couple of them, and every buy the previous 5 years, genius. So, going off of what we've experienced, obviously past performance isn't indicative or guaranteed future performance, but you keep doing what works, right? That's the reason the boomers are still buying the S&P 500, because it worked for them and they still see a number go up. The difference being is those of us who have been orange pilled that are actually understand Bitcoin are looking at money completely different, because I don't want dollars. I don't care what the number does in dollars. I value things in Bitcoin. I also will go through as a counterbalance for all you boomers. I also counter with checking values in gold, because those are actual tangibles. Like, it just is what it is. So are there things? Yeah. Is there high yield? Yeah. There's ways to stop breaking your back in a system where they're going to keep debasing your labor so you can't save your labor for later. We're being robbed of our labor that we did now that we're trying to save for later. They put us in a space where it makes sense if you're just dealing in fiat currency and that's all you know and that's all you understand, to be living in the YOLO lifestyle, because next year you can buy less stuff. You can do less stuff. You can go on less of a trip. It makes sense. I understand why the younger generations are doing it. I understand why people my age are doing it. I understand why old people are doing it, because every dollar you have is literally, it's not burning a hole in your pocket. It's burning up in your pocket. It's disintegrating. You can buy less stuff, which now places fiat currency, dollars, if you would, where they should have been in the first place. A means of exchange. That's hot money. Get it out of here. I'm going to sit and hold that. Get that out of my face. It's hot money. What's going to happen now as we move forward is that money is going to get hotter, which means it's going to disintegrate. It's going to burn up faster. I see people all the time. Oh, my stock portfolio went up over the past 5 years. And it's like, well, can you buy like what you know? Yeah, because the price of everything went up over the past 5 years. Did you keep up with inflation? Oh, well, I bought the S&P 500. Like, well, fun fact, over COVID, you didn't. It took a massive hit in buying power. So you can buy almost the same amount of stuff that you had before. God forbid you save that money in dollars in the bank to say, hey, I got 6 figures in my bank account. That's real sad because you have even less money. But I said all that to repeat. The financial literacy is the key. Tapping in with channels like mine. You got channels like Wall Street Trapper. You got, there's so many. Even the Dave Ramsey camp. I don't agree with them, but at least they're trying to get something set up. They're trying to do something. Like you're out here arguing about modern women, sprinkle, what men should be doing, what women should be doing, and just straight going broke. 90% of these problems are because the money that you deal in is broken. Fundamentally, you're being robbed. And then all the other outshoot problems that we're looking at right now are because the money's broken. Most relationships don't work out because of money. The money's broken. Chicks on hard times. Gotta go set up an OF. Now they're burnt. Money's broken. Dudes out here renting cars, flexing, broke as a joke, living a lifestyle on Instagram. Money's broken. Everyone's an influencer. Money's broken. And when the money's broken, there's no incentive to actually go to work. Like, I work in blue collar. I work in a physical trade. And I understand why people don't want to go do that job. Because, like, why are you going to go burn your body out? Hurt yourself. Put excess load on your tendons, joints, and bones when the money's broken. Unless you can get paid appropriately. But you know what? We're not worried about losing our jobs. There ain't a robot that can replace me yet. And all I need, let me repeat this, all I need is 2 more years. They ain't going to have a robot to replace me in 2 years. These rich people ain't going to stop building these houses in 2 years either because they're going to get richer. People that hold assets are going to benefit by what's coming down the pipes. You're seeing multiple hundreds of thousands of people losing their jobs to robots. And it ain't the dummies like me. It's the smart people like you that are probably watching this, scoffing, rolling your eyes, sucking your teeth. You're losing your job. Because the robot replacement started top down and not bottom up like all the smart people said was going to happen. You know why? Because you're condescending, you're arrogant, you're hard to deal with, you think you're more special than you are, and now a nondescript ethereal being is taking your job. Also, you're expensive. You make a lot more money getting rid of one of you than 100 of me. Also, I work in a skilled trade. My job's hard to do. So I'm actually not as dumb as you want to make it out to be because, like, you can't build a house. You can't wire a house. You can barely set your internet up. I know because I have to come set your internet up for you. I know because I have to come over and program your smart home and make it do all the cool stuff that you want to do and then teach you how to use your apps because you can't figure it out. Because you're smart at one thing, but like there's different levels of intelligence and some of them are only special in like a specific niche area. But like, the lights went out. I could build a shelter now because I know how houses are built. Could also wire that shelter. I could also probably put a furnace system in that shelter that would work burning wood because like I know how stuff works. It's crazy when you work with your hands and you can build things. So different levels of intelligence, different types of intelligence that work in different environments. Unfortunately, Your environment's being disrupted and mine isn't. So I still get to go to work. I've been doing my job for over a decade. I got my 10,000 hours in on that too. And I've got my 10,000 hours in on financial literacy, over 10,000 hours, but specifically in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So where the ball's moving, always want to be ahead of the curve. There are tools. High yield, something that I talk about on this channel regularly as well, is another thing, because I believe that you got to have income to replace having to go to that 9 to 5. But I don't do that solely to just sit and be like, oh, I've got a lot of income coming in, because I think the income conversation is a conversation that people that are currently having it, communities that are currently having it, communities that are hyper fixating on how much you make, are late to the party. It's how much what you make can do for you. How hard are those dollars you're making working? So I don't, and you'll realize at that point what you actually value. What do you care about? Because it doesn't take as much to retire as people think if you have a normal lifestyle for you. Now, I understand that the gurus, they got to fly JetBlue and show you that they're on the JetBlue. The people who get the one JetBlue flight a year and show you the ticket to let you know they on JetBlue, they first class, they sitting in the comfy seats. I get it. It's a different experience. I mean, I know. I just recently got a car. I upgraded my car. Now, for me, I enjoy driving. One of the things that I did, though, for the past decade was not had a car that was fun to drive. Both of the cars that I've had, that I've put 200,000 miles on almost. This last one did not make it to 200. The Lexus did not make it to 200. But my Chevy did. I'm just saying. I'm just going to throw it out there, since everybody says American cars suck. Like, you change the oil. My Chevy made it to 200. I'm just saying. But I had two cars that were not very swift. And, I was in my grind phase. Like, I was Ubering all the time. I was grinding it out. I just needed a vehicle to move people that got good fuel efficiency. Now, when I switched out of the Chevy, I don't get worse cars. That is one thing that I will say for myself. I can stay baseline, but I like to move up a little bit. So from the Chevy, I had a Chevy Cruze. Super awesome car. Also, by the way, I enjoyed my Cruze. I don't know. I see people say stuff about it, and I don't understand. I assume they didn't change the oil when they were supposed to. But my Chevy, loved it. Traded it in. Got a Lexus. Now, these are all used cars. I don't buy new cars either. That's another thing I know. Oh, I can afford to buy a new car. Like, no, I'm just not stupid enough to take a $30,000 something off the lot. Like, I don't do that. Like, that is not a value for me. There's no car that I'm going to build that I couldn't have gone and bought that one of you drove off the lot and took the $30,000 hit on. Like, it just doesn't matter. It's not important. It's not part of my value set. Like, no one who I've pulled up next to or has noticed me because of my new car has asked, did you drive that off the lot? like that's not a question that real people ask other real people, especially considering most of you that are on YouTube are sharing a car with 5 other people that you live with. Let's be honest. Let's kick game. You're lying anyway about the car that you have, like the super nice one. Y'all sharing that car. And then timing your video so it doesn't look obvious. It's cool. We know what's up. Like, it's no big deal. Game is game. And the other idiots who watch your channels believe you. Like, it's bet. Do you. It's helping you win. Hopefully you don't got to live with 5 people and share your Lamborghini, bro. Hopefully. One day you can get your own by yourself that you just have all the time. Hopefully, one of these days, you don't have to pull the Ty Lopez and be in the garage of the house that you're renting that's not actually your house and set up a set because you're in Hollywood and everything's fake and you guys are all sharing stuff and do that. I hope that you guys get to do that one time and you're not renting a car off Turo every time you want to shoot a video and paying somebody to rent their car so that you can shoot your video and do that. Like, I hope you get to where you're trying to go. But the reality of it is, for me, that's not a value set. It's not a value for me. It doesn't benefit me. It definitely doesn't help me make any more money. So I don't do it. But I got a Lexus. Lexus was nicer than my Chevy Cruze. Drove it. Now, mind you, the Lexus did make it to 180,000 miles. So there is that. It also blew a head gasket, which there is also that. Like, the heck. But, you know, it made it to 180. Its tour duty was done. And now we done upgraded again. Now, this car is nicer than this vehicle is nicer than the Lexus. Practical to what I'm doing, but it's faster. The radio's better. The sunroof's better. The seats are better. The seat warmers are better. The air conditioning's better. The heat's better. Oh my God. Everything about it's better. It was a legitimate upgrade for me. And the reality of it is, like, I could have gone a little bit more of a flex than what I did, but I was like, you know what? First of all, the plan was to only be driving the vehicle for 2 years. So I was looking at vehicles with more mileage on it, and then found a vehicle with less mileage on it that fit every one of the other boxes, with the exception of like the super flex of like, hey, I bought a badge, which I did buy a badge. That's what I call it when you buy like luxury cars. You're buying a badge. You're buying something. And I mean, it's not necessarily 100% for me. Like, was there a comparable vehicle that I wanted that I liked the look of? No, to be honest. For like what I was looking at and what I got, there's going to be videos and content on my OG channel on that soon. I'm going to do a video on it on this channel as well. But I'm trying to keep this very focused on bag talk. So we'll be using both channels again. So there'll be content on the OG channel that's going to be more lifestyle stuff moving forward over there, to see if it's still shadow banned, because it was for a long time. But it's a badge, but it's a company that I do like. And, you know, I enjoy driving. Like, when I was younger, we used to go street racing all the time. Like, that is something that's in my blood. Not a fan of this sideshow stuff. Like, we used to go out of our way to not be seen by people so we could actually go get some races in. And now these kids take over whole streets and shooting off fireworks and are doing crazy stuff. Not about it. But the thing was, back in my day, which I hate to say it like that, but like back in my day, they went out of their way to come find us to write tickets and take our cars. And they just let these kids do this stuff now dangerously in intersections in town. That is crazy to me. But, you know, it's a badge. So like, it's something nice. I'm proud of it. I'm happy about it. I like it. And, you know, there's benefits and drawbacks of it. Like, I don't have as good a gas mileage now, but it goes fast and I enjoy driving it. Like, as soon as I'm done recording this video, I'm going to go drive to go get a snack, just cause like I like driving now. Like, I do. Like, I'm just like, hey, I can run up the street real quick. I ain't even going to go to the gas station that's close. I'm going to the one that's a little far away. Like, I want to go to the nicer gas station that's a little further away, because I like being in the car. I like the radio. I like rolling around with the windows down, sunroof open. Feels good. It makes me happy. So I bought it. I value that. It's not, I don't even value it as much as like for everybody else. I do value the car for myself. Like, it's a classy car and it goes fast. Like, I like it. But it's how we spend our money, how we choose to use our money, how we go about things. Because if you're chasing the YouTube Joneses, the Instagram Joneses, the highlight reel, you have no idea. You're trying to compete with somebody who is renting a vehicle to make that video to make you feel insignificant because they're pretending to actually do something, and enough of you watch it so that they actually get paid off of it. It's crazy to me. Not even their car. They're sharing it with 5 people that they live with. But, you know, I think that there's tools out here. We talk about them on this channel. And from my perspective, I think that there is a pathway to getting wealthy, and it is extreme understanding of financial literacy, and you got to really be interested in it, because the game is actively changing regularly. The stuff that I was doing in 2019 doesn't fly now, and the stuff that I'm doing now, those tools weren't available in 2019. High yield wasn't a thing in 2019. Yield farming was. And that's not as viable now. It's not as easy. It's not as stable. You like the altcoin market is just being obliterated. Like, it just is what it is. Like, it's crazy. It's almost like pack it up and go home. But high yield is given opportunities. Market was bad as of the day of this recording. Bad day in the market. It is what it is. People losing their minds. Everyone's trying to get rich next Tuesday. They don't have a long-term plan. The financial literacy, what you're doing with that income, regardless of what level you're at, are pivotal to changing your destination on where you're going to end up later. The incentive right now is to live YOLO. Look right now. What are you doing right now? And I'm going to tell you, if you're working on day to day, you need to, at least at minimum, your assignment is to get yourself to looking a week out. If you're a week out right now, you live in week to week. You need to get, your assignment is to get to a month out. You have to start kicking your vision out so that you can make more strategic decisions. If you are at a month, you need to get to a year out. We have to start expanding our vision. And I'm not saying the person that's living day to day, you need to get to a year now. You need to focus on figuring out how to get to the week and then work your way up. You work your way up the steps. If you're at a year, you need to get to 5 years. Now, at 5 years, if you can't figure it out, if you've got your purview out to 5 years and you're making moves on 5 years and actually tracking your net worth, tracking your income, tracking to see if you're making improvements, if you can't figure it out at 5 years, you're not going to be able to figure it out. But what I'm saying is, for everyone who's in the wolf pack, you should be targeting getting to 5 years, working your way up these steps. It's imperative, because if you're looking in these narrow windows, then there's no point in doing anything. You have to start expanding that window out. And once you're able to start planning stuff for a few weeks out, few months out, year, few years out, stuff will start lining up. You'll know what moves you need to make. You'll be able to make them more intentionally. We've got 5 years to figure this out before it gets really hard, because it's hard now. And I'm not going to discredit that, but this is where we are. So like, you can either just resign yourself and give up, or you can figure it out. But like, if you give up, it's just going to be bad. It's going to be bad. There will be gnashing of teeth, people cold. You're going to be hungry. It's just not going to be good. It's not going to be good for you. It's not going to be good for your family. Doesn't make it fair. Wasn't as easy for me as it was for my parents, with the ability and the opportunities that they had. And it wasn't as easy for them as it was for their grandparents. I mean, obviously racism, they had to deal with that, but there was still a bunch of moves that they could do, that they navigated through amongst themselves, that were harder for my mother, that were harder for me, but I have done them. It's not fair, but it is what it is. Now, you can stop it. It's not fair, and you can run in the victim Olympics. That's not going to take you to a good place. And there's going to be plenty of people who will sit there and be victims with you. You're going to change circles after you start moving forward, after you start looking at how the week's looking versus like what we doing today. Like, what's the move today? The people who are still stuck on moving today, they're not going to be wanting to be around you. So you're not going to be at that level of YOLO anymore. And then once you move from a week to a month, the week people, not week, but I'm talking about like weekdays, people that are moving within the week range, if they're not trying to move forward, they're not going to want to be around you, because you're looking too far down the road for them. And boy, once you get to the year, you're going to start losing people. You really going to start losing people once you get to 12 months out. Like once you start making plans in 12 months and executing on them, because everybody thinks it's cute when you make longer term plans. And they'll probably be like, yeah, that sounds dope. Until you do it. They ain't going to like you once you do it. They're going to start not liking because they can't see that far, because they can't put up those wins. They can't project out that far. And once you get to 5 years, it's over. You dealing with a different kind of people at that point, because people who aren't trying to get there or aren't there mentally, you're going to seem insane. You're going to seem insane. Because, I mean, the gurus are going to tell you that if you're not making over $100,000, you can't even own a home. I own a home and I'll make over $100,000. That was not given to me, that I bought by myself. My name's the only home. My name's the only name on this lease. Or on the deed, whatever. On the title. That's what it is. My name's the only one on the title. Because I did it by myself. And I just had a conversation with my mom a few weeks ago, and she's still, to this day, I've been in this house since 2019. To this day, thinks I rent it. Because she's not there yet. Got to remind her and be like, yo, like, don't disrespect me like that. Like, I own that house. Oh, what? Yeah. Because people who can't see the distance that you can't see can't understand the stuff that you're doing. You're going to look crazy, which is good. I like it when people are like, oh, that's crazy. Like, why are you doing that? That's so risky. That's crazy. How can you do that? What about the taxes? Good. The crazier you think I am, the more that I know I'm doing what's right, because that's not what you and everybody else is doing because you're average. Perfect. Thank you. Now I know. That's how I know I'm going in the right direction. And we're gonna call it on that. This is possible. I'd love to have a conversation with y'all down in the comments about this. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think where are you at in life? Are you blue collar like me? Or do you go in, you come home muddy, covered in sawdust, you got dust in your eyes, be waking up with them like hard crusties? Those of you who work in the trades understand the hard crusties when you wake up. Like, and it's sad because I'll take a shower before I go to bed and I'll still wake up because like you end up with sawdust like in your eye, like it's in there and it just works its way out overnight. And you wake up and you start scratching your eye, and the next thing you know, you done cut a whole line down your face because you got one of them hard crusties that just scrapes you. And it's just terrible. But hit me up down in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you guys are thinking. And we will be back next week with another episode of Bag Talk. Until then, you guys keep making the appropriate decisions. We are bag fortifiers over here in the Wolfpack. On your way out, do not forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, especially if you've been here more than 2 times or are ghost watching me, and share the video. Get me onto the algorithm or react to the video. Like I said, I'm down to have these conversations because I'm the only brokey out here on YouTube telling you guys how it actually is from the trenches. Until next week, people, it's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and I'm out.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play it, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.